All right, Rick, the Andros Tarpon 26. What I love about the bow of this boat, it's got a raised casting platform, but what they've done is you've got two insulated 8-foot boxes. They're fish boxes, but they also double as locking rod boxes. And in the center, I've got an additional dry storage box. So not only have they used this for a casting deck, but they've utilized it for storage too.
But having the combing bolsters along here too makes it really nice on your knees. I tell you where you see a lot of these boats, Dave, is on the West Coast, like Boca Grande in that area. Those tarpon fights can go on a long time. I can promise you those guys like having these combing bolsters up here to put their knees against. And a lot of times you'll see a fighting chair mounted up here on the Tarpon 26s to fight a big fish from. And this, Dave, one thing we noticed when we ran this boat right away, it's really dry. This big bow like this with the height to it really keeps the water from splashing over the top, regardless of the choppy conditions.
All right, Rick, well, let's walk back and take a look at the center console.
All right, because there's some things on this one I really like.
Rick, you know, we talk about center consoles in every boat, but this Tarpon 26, the design of the console is really good. Plenty of room for your flush metal electronics, and the door is large enough to where if you put a head down in here, you can actually get into it.
Yeah, which is, the heads look great on the showroom floor. This one is designed for when you're on the water, okay? And you can tell the difference. If they're easy to get into like this, they'll get used every now and then. If not, they just help you sell boats. Now, let me tell you something else about this boat that we see on a lot of this genre of boats is a second station. That means that wherever the owner of this boat fishes, there's probably sight fishing involved. You would be amazed at how much more you can see from up there than you can down on the deck.
Well, just like a tower on a great big sport fish boat, but just a smaller version of it. You're higher, you can see down, and you also have controls up there, so while you're up there looking, you can still control the boat.
Right, and these are very popular boats with fishing guides, and there's a reason. Certainly fuel economy is one of them, and being basically very versatile, no frills is another one. The third one is they can get up there, run the boat, and see things, and tell their customers where to put the bait.
Well, a lot of the guides I talk to that are running this style of boat, they have it for just that reason. They can put 4 guys on, maybe a 5th, all their gear, everybody's secure inside the boat. They won't leave this tower all day long. They'll stay up there, they'll drive the boat, they'll do everything they need to do from this tower because it's really not that tall. You're standing almost on the top of the console. So you've got elevation without being out of contact with everybody else in the boat.
It also enables you, Dave, to take at least one more person because you're not down on the deck. You're not part of the crowd. If the boat's crowded, you're up there, you're out of the group. So if this boat's comfortable fishing 5 people, if you've got a captain that spends a whole day up there, suddenly you're comfortable fishing an extra person.
Rick, I know we're only in a 26-foot boat, but look at the size of the cockpit that we've got here.
Well, you're right, and that comes back to why they make such great charter boats too, Dave. There's a lot of room, everything is very simple and easy to get to.
Well, we've got 2 storage compartments built into the floor of the boat here. Back here across the transom, you've got 2 smaller compartments that actually are where you can put chum, and it'll go over the side automatically, or you can use it for storage, and a 50-gallon live well in the center.
Well, that speaks to the fact that it's primarily a fishing boat. We talked about in the opening of the show, they do a lot of things. What they do best is take you fishing.
Right, on the outside of the transom, we've got a swim platform, got a power pole on this side, which you're seeing more and more in a lot of boats, but in the center you got the porta bracket. It's a lot different than the hydraulic jack plate. Hydraulic jack plate just goes up and down, and these do too, but it has the engine go up and down and stay vertical, so it keeps the thrust from your prop parallel with the water.
So what you're telling me, the end result is going to be, you're going to be able to run shallower. You didn't make the bottom go any deeper down, but you made the surface of the water come higher up, right?
That's exactly what you did. What I love about this design, if you raise that porta bracket all the way out and you trim your motor all the way up, your lower unit's going to be about that high out of the water. So if you leave the boat in the water overnight or say for a week with bottom paint or whatever, that motor's nowhere near touching the water.
Oh, that's got to mean a longer life for your motor.
Yeah, it's going to save the anodes on your motor and less corrosion. Even though they've kept the old style hull, they've added the refinements inside to make this boat compatible with all of the new stuff being built.
Right, and when we get into the beam of a boat, obviously every time you go a little wider, everything's a trade-off, we talk about it every episode. Every time you go a little wider, you increase your planing surface, it requires more horsepower. But we've got so much more horsepower than we had even 20 years ago that now it's easier to build a boat like this wider because we got the motors to push them.
Well, one thing I really do like about this Andros, it's all built in-house. They don't farm anything out, everything is done right there at the plant. And they're using modern day construction. So you've got the old style hull, you've got the ride, you've got everything you want, but they're using modern technology when it comes to all their glass and their resin.